The power of Christ compels you! Get out!
Here's Johnny!
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
No! God, please, no! No!
I'm not afraid of your ghosts.
Welcome to Paranormal Live on Grimcast. This is a special edition coming to you live from Yuma, Arizona. We have Jim, Sam, Shawn, and Dennis from Knops ParaUnit to discuss paranormal activity in Yuma. Shawn, tell us why you guys are here in Yuma this weekend.
Thanks, Grim. My voice is so scratchy right now from all the dusty locations we've been in. Man, we just wrapped up about 2 hours ago, and now we're doing this podcast. So the reason we're here this weekend is to finish up some additional shots we need for this film we've been working on for about 9 years, total investigating, off and on. Nothing was faked in this film. It's all 100% real. It takes years to capture all this real evidence. This is not like one of those fast TV shows you see on TV. This is all 100% real, and it took a very long time to capture each and every piece. The name of this documentary film will be called Operation ParaUnit. That's Operation Paranormal Unit. If you want to find out more about this film, you can check out the website at nops.us under O.P.U. and find out the status of where and when it can be seen. We're going to put up some stream cameras that Jim set up as we talk. What do you guys think of the film so far?
There's so much evidence in it, you'll never find it in another show anywhere. The real deal.
Yeah, it was fun. It was very fun. Kind of grueling, but it was fun.
What else did you guys discover during the taping?
That the poor area that we're in is really dilapidated and falling down. I'm just afraid that if there's even a light earthquake, the roof might come down on it.
Yeah, you're talking about the hotel, the Central Hotel?
Both.
Or motel, sorry.
Yeah, both.
Hotel.
Both.
Yeah, that was, the several times that we've been there, it seems to get a lot worse every time.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it's not looking good.
No, it isn't. But you know what? They built that before there were any building plans or direction. They built it on the roof, and some of the hallways go up at an angle and then go down the next angle, and it's
that's what I've been meaning to ask you. Do they even plan on doing anything to restore it?
If I had to guess, no. And I'm not going to elaborate on that because you never know who's listening.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just a shame that something like that has that much history they're just letting it go.
Well, I will say this about a former historian here in Yuma, and this is just an opinion. I think she was attracted to it, and it's not necessarily nepotism, but friend of a friend, hey, I got a job for you. You got the credentials. Mm-hmm. Pays good.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been why that person was in it.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. Money talks.
Yeah, because I didn't ever see any results from coming out of that office.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of activity out of there, though.
Oh my gosh! Don't you know it?
What kind of experiences did you guys get?
That place is the Disneyland of the paranormal because it's got it all. You have shadow people, you've got spirits, you've got demons.
I think what we need to do is talk about what we actually found, what we actually caught. We got trigger dolls. We want to talk about the trigger dolls?
We could.
Well,
We put one. Remember the? Oh, no, I can't say that.
Triggers or anything that would attract a spirit. We have modified trigger dolls. We put bionic microphones inside the ears so we can actually hear if the doll has been touched. And sometimes we put the K2 meter built into the head so the eyes light up.
Yeah, gives us an idea of what is near the doll for sure. Remember, we put that one in the hallway with a camera, and hooked up the audio up to the doll itself so it can record all the audio. Yeah,
Is that the doll that got kicked?
yeah, that's the doll that got kicked. Eventually, we found out it got kicked, but we had the video. Remember, we had the camera on it, and we were planning on filming it and recording all night. Came back the next morning, and the doll looked like it was just punted
up.
down the hallway. And I remember the recorder was still connected to it, but obviously the camera stayed in the same spot, but the camera was dead. The battery did not last. It got zapped.
We have audio of it.
Do we? Oh,
You want to
play that? Yeah.
Okay, let's hear this little sample.
It is 1 o'clock a.m.
but you got no video, right?
No, that always happens too.
Yeah, well, they drain batteries. They're known.
Yeah.
They're famous for draining batteries. That's a shame because maybe we would have seen a guy named Joe sniffing the head first.
Well, yeah, we would have found out what exactly punted it. But the weirdest thing is when we found the doll, you look at the doll, it's got a bump on its head. How and why? It's plastic, right? First off. What would cause a bruise or a lump on a plastic doll? You know what I mean?
Something pushing from the inside out, a very deranged ghost.
It would have to be like, the doll would have to be filled with air or something.
Yeah.
To pump it out, but to come out in that location, that's just weird.
Yeah, it would have to get really hot for the plastic to melt.
But the other thing is that you look at it, you can see the bluish tint in it.
Yeah.
It does look like a bruise.
It looks like a contusion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what gets me is the ability for objects to move. That whole poltergeist thing. People talk about it, and very few experience it, but we get it a lot.
We've experienced it a lot in there, absolutely. And the word for things appearing is apport. The coins that just suddenly appeared, apport.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we also had that doll that we set up, and
moved the arm.
I think we left it for about maybe a couple hours, and then when we came back, we had a camera set up on it too, but it also had the K2 in the head, so the eyes would blink. Well, when we got back, we looked at that doll and looked down at it, and there was coins next to it. So, where did the coins come from? We get that a lot, where coins are dropped or thrown. Seems like a lot here. But when we went back and looked at that video, you could see the eyes blinking. So something disturbed the EMF frequency or the area around the doll, so it was setting it off. But you couldn't see anything where the coins were dropped or just appeared. They were just there.
The greater question here is there were coins next to it. What was whatever that is expecting to buy?
Well, It's just weird, like like it's kind of like a peace offering.
Well,
It's kind of weird.
having the coins appear and disappear, and maybe it's their way of trying to prove that it was them.
That happened one time down. I was asking, can you throw a coin? And of course, I'm looking all over the theater, and I'm standing next to the table, and I'm looking everywhere, and I can't see anything. Nothing happens. I'm like, dang. God, 10 seconds after that, I look down, and there's an old crusty dime sitting on the table right next to me.
Yeah, well, could have A-ported.
That's what it had to. How else would it have got there?
Yeah, we get that a lot.
Who knows how many coins are lost in that theater in the little cracks and crevices and.
Yeah, from day one, we've had coins thrown at us in the theater. Mm-hmm. We have audio of that if you want to play.
Wait. Well, I was going to say on the doll, on the trigger doll thing. Remember, we had the Raggedy Andy doll.
Yeah.
That we set up on the dresser. Had the camera set up on it. I think that we set that up and was. I think it was all overnight. I think we did an overnight thing, where we let it record overnight. Well, the next day we went in and looked at it. We noticed the arm was in a different position. So we went back and looked at the video, and in the video you can see its right arm move from where it was located near the center out to the side. And it was so soft and subtle, you couldn't tell. I guess you couldn't tell if there was any force in it, but it did move, which I thought was a trip. Yeah. But it seemed like we get a lot of activity around those dolls. We probably should use those a lot more.
Well, that's why they call them trigger objects.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really neat that Shawn's taken the time to actually modify stuff and you don't see it a lot, even on these crazy TV shows. They've got the basic, I can't say basic equipment, but the run of the mill stuff.
Anti-cam.
Yeah, these trigger dolls. There's a lot of ingenuity back into them.
You put a lot into them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
good job, Shawn.
Hey, I try. Sometimes you have to think outside the box.
Can't wait for the next creation.
Okay. You want to hear the coins?
Yeah, let's hear some coin drops.
Series of what we've recorded over the years in the.
These are all in the
theater.
In the theater,
lyric theater.
Okay.
And wait, if you want to see it, wait until the.
You have to wait
film.
for the documentary to come out to watch it. Here we go.
If you don't want us here, tell us to leave.
We're a group called Knots. The last time I was here, you threw something. Can you do that again? Holy.
Ooh. Oh.
There it goes.
What was that?
Thank you.
That last one sounded like a pachinko machine.
Did you hear the force it was thrown with? That was amazing.
Yeah. And all 3 of those times, or 4 of those times, you couldn't see it. You just heard it when it hit. And like that one that when I was walking down and I asked for it to happen because it happened before, it happened on cue, and that's what startled me. That's why I said what I said, because it just startled the crap out of me.
Yeah, do the odds on that. Do the odds that would happen on that, and I think it's pretty astronomical.
Yeah, I usually never get a response that quick to whether I ask a question or ask to do something. That's why it really startled me.
Well, we have what, five trips back to Yuma? Is it 5? 4 or 5?
At least.
Well, the fast responses are typical up there. They happen all the time.
Yeah.
There was a group of girls, because they say women groups get different responses than just men groups. So there were 3 ladies in one of the rooms up there, and she goes, "Can you say ghost?" This was an ITC session. And she goes, "Can you say ghost?" and very clearly across the little. It took about 4 or 5 of them, and it went ghost.
You're listening to Paranormal Live on Grimcast. Welcome back to Paranormal Live Special Edition from Yuma, Arizona.
So, of all the things we have experienced from this location, what's your best memory?
That's a tough one.
Now, for me, it had to be ITC. You know, we came into the location and really not knowing what to expect. We thought, no, let's try it. You know, and to get the responses that we got from the questions that we were answering, same voice. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And you know, the answers that were given are they were so spot on, and to be the same voice, it's just.
Yeah, I would say, well, with the dolls and everything that's happened lately, I would say that, the ITC was probably the biggest.
Yeah.
I want a revelation for me, because when we thought about doing ITC, we were like kind of on the fence.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's too. From the way we saw other teams use it, it was too influential. You know what I mean?
Well, at the time, it was still kind of a new thing.
I think it was probably used wrong. It was not used wrong, but it was displayed wrong when they played it back. You know what I mean? They would put it out there, and then they would put text that would tell you what they think it says.
Yeah.
Rather than letting you think about and
What
hear
was
it,
said,
and
yeah.
what you think it was said.
I've seen that happen a lot.
Yeah, well, that's back in that time. That's what everybody was doing, and to me, I just didn't think that was right, because whether you heard it or not, you were influenced. So,
But
how could you think any different?
We have friends in other groups that, you know, claim to be ITC pros, but to hear their evidence, and I'm not knocking their evidence because it is what it is, but you had to hunt for what it was saying.
Yeah.
Our responses, I mean, it was plain as day.
Oh, they came right out. There was no.
Didn't have to guess.
You didn't have to guess. Yeah, it was like blatant.
Yeah.
And it was right on cue with what we were doing.
Yep.
I'm hitting the oven, and it says stop misbehaving.
Stop misbehaving.
Or what was the other thing it was saying? Oh, you're going to bruise that oven.
What does that mean? Yeah.
Where does that come from? That's not even. It's an inanimate object.
Yeah.
You're not going to bruise it unless it's a doll being punted down the hallway and gets a bruise on his head.
I like the voice that came across, because it could have been Sam Elliott's brother. I mean, it was that deep of a bass voice. You're gonna bruise that oven, son.
Yeah, and it had a what do you call it? It had what's the word I'm looking for?
Accent?
Yeah, there you go. It had an accent to it, like a
Western?
Yeah, a Western accent.
Texan.
Yeah,
A little bit of a Texan or Western.
You're gonna bruise that oven.
Well,
We
quite like that.
Yeah. We can always hear it.
Yeah.
You want to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. We
talking
had it.
about it, but
Let's
we just play it.
Yeah.
play it.
Here we go.
Play it.
We were asked to help with a fundraiser in Yuma, Arizona. The location is in the Central Motel, which is located above the Lyric Theater. We used a type of investigation called ITC, And because it was our first time using this type of investigation, we were very skeptical. The results that we were able to gather didn't make any sense in today's language.
Some of the locals told us to focus on the kitchen area, as the spirits there don't like us messing with their kitchen. So I primarily focused on the stove and the cupboards.
I'm operating the camera, and I told Jim to mess up the stove. All of a sudden, we started hearing the same voice responding to exactly what we were doing.
Did you say Sam?
Kind of behavior. How is it like speaking sentences when it's scanning so fast?
Hey Jim, why don't you make something on the stove?
I did. I messed it up. You know what? Let's do this. Oh no, let's not do that. Let's do that. There. Those are all there.
Look at those mean men.
Oh, you see. Wow.
Stop it.
Stop it.
All right.
Very white.
Keep doing it.
I got chicken skin. I got chicken
There we go.
skin. How rude. What?
I keep every
It
time
was the same voice, but
Yeah.
I couldn't tell what he was saying.
I think it's kind of coming around in phases.
What did you say?
No, that wasn't him.
But that was a full sentence. That was full sentences
That
coming.
was cool. Shawn was recording too. I can take some stuff out of there.
Let's go get some prime rib and cook. Show this guy how it's really done.
There.
Is it closed? Yeah.
He said stop again.
What are you gonna do?
Does it make you angry that he's messing with your kitchen?
Oops.
Keep that closed.
Other members of the team split up at the territorial prison in Yuma, Arizona. They decided to use the same ITC radio, and what they caught blew our minds.
Is there a female here trying to speak to us right now? Amber?
Amber? Is your name Amber? Did you used to go to school here?
Amber, how old are you? 7? Can you tell me your name?
What was that? Can you say your name?
I heard Roberto. Did you hear a name?
So I think it was 2 different guys trying to get a name.
Maybe we can Amber?
Yeah, I heard it of Roberto.
Is your name Roberto?
Yes.
Holy crap, dude. My name is Andrea, this is Kelly, and Jessica. What do you say?
Yeah, hello. Nice to meet you, Roberto.
Roberto, are you still here with us? We're here?
the one that gets me in the first one, when we were in the kitchen, is when I forget who was there, when he says, "No, it understands what I'm saying," and then right after that, it literally copied him on the radio. It says, "I don't know what he's saying."
Yeah, he
It mocked him.
He mimicked him.
Yeah.
Well, two things on that.
Mocked him, sorry.
Remember?
Yeah, two things on that. I've learned from being in there that they're precognitive because it goes the other way as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've recorded things that the spirits have said, and then less than 30 seconds later, I say exactly what they said, not knowing that that's what was captured on the tape recorder.
So you're being influenced.
Influenced or precognition.
Possessed.
No, I don't believe that. But tell you what, something that's not discussed that needs to be looked into, and you'll see a little blurb about this here if you stay tuned and watch it, is where the ley lines fall. They fall very close to Yuma. Two very strong ley lines, and then 3, 6, 9, another dozen of them intersecting all at the same point.
That's going to be interesting.
Google it. Ley
Yeah.
Lines. Ley lines. And they believe that the magnetic force that generates creates favorable circumstances for what it is that we do.
Gives them energy, say, to
Manipulate
drop down to our level, maybe?
Manipulate an ITC.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sounds very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it happens all over the world. Mm-hmm. Stonehenge is,
Did you just say stoned henge?
No.
Okay. No. I thought you said Stonehenge.
But
anyway,
there's several locations across Earth that all lay on the same ley lines. So who knows?
Yeah, and if you follow the ley lines, you'll find historic sites all along the way.
That includes pyramids, right?
I do believe it does. I do believe it does.
Very interesting.
But there's 2 huge ones that cross through here, and then another dozen smaller ones, and they all converge very close to here.
That's very interesting. I wonder if that's the reason we're getting so much activity.
Could be.
What else have we encountered in the motel?
Well, I'm going to back up just a hair and stay kind of in focus with what you just said, but a little different. Back in the 20s, after was it 20s or 30s, they closed the prison, and it was no longer viable. And people were coming for the California Gold Rush, and there was one bridge, the Ocean to Ocean Bridge. It was the only bridge going across the mighty Colorado River, and everybody converged here to cross into California. Well, they wouldn't let you cross into California unless you each had $10. So what would happen is they'd turn them back, and they'd all go up, and they would camp out in the empty cells up at the territorial prison. And a lot of them died of tuberculosis and other things without ever making the money they needed to cross into California. And I believe because of that there may be an excessive amount of hardship spirits, if you will.
Yeah, could be.
$10 was a lot of money back then.
Yeah, it was, and there was a lot of prostitution going on to get that money.
Shut up.
Sorry about that.
Oh, somebody didn't like that.
Okay, so that was a good little history lesson, though. We learned something new. What about? Well, we were talking about the motel, the Central Motel.
Yeah, what's the history on that?
Yeah, is there any history on that?
Actually, I've searched. Other people have searched. We've yet to find anything substantial about it. However, today, when we talked to Mike, when we interviewed Mike, he kind of spilled the beans. He goes, yeah, my dad used to tell me all kinds of stories of people fighting up there, murders, people dying. So evidently there's been a lot more people die up there than we've ever been aware of. And because of what Mike said today, that finally made a light go on with me, because I never knew anybody literally died. Had my suspicions, but I never really knew until he told me that.
Yeah, that is a change of events there.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, he was just joking.
Joking?
It's strange that the city or the county or the state has no record of the Central motel actually being built.
If it was built illegally, why would it still be there to this day? You know, it's just kind of like a hidden secret.
It's a hidden gem. It was closed in '76.
Yeah.
That was the last people who were in there in
I
1976.
wouldn't call it a gym right now, but maybe at its time.
Well, I was calling you Jim.
No, well,
Jim
is a gym, but that place is just it's very different.
It's odd.
Yeah, I mean, you walk down a hallway and it's literally on top of the roof of the theater, and you have windows to each room to the hallway, but then you have a roof on top of that, so it's kind of like you're in a hotel with the windows that open up to the hallways.
Yeah, well, today is a lot like it was back in the 20s. Back in the 20s, if you paid off the building inspector, you know, hey, here's what's it going to take for you to just go away, buddy? We're going to build this thing, whether you say so or not, you know. And I think there was a lot of payoff then to get things done. And I think that you know, it's always been known that Yuma is a good old boys society.
Yeah.
Frank.
You're listening to Paranormal Live on Grimcast. Welcome back to Paranormal Live Special Edition from Yuma, Arizona.
So the purpose of us being here in Yuma this time was to complete a project that we started years ago. And, you know, it's what we're calling the Yuma documentary. And let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, how long have we been doing it? When was the first time we
that was during the Paracon.
And what year was that?
2012.
Oh my God.
2012.
12 years ago. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
You know, Lutes has a lot more history than most people are aware of. Not only do they have and it's not really a casino, but they call it Lutes Casino. Great place to eat and hang out with friends. Great place to have a reunion. They also have Lutes Wedding Chapel, Gretna Green Wedding Chapel.
Oh.
Laurel and Hardy. Hardy got married.
Hardy.
Hardy got married twice at Gretna Green Wedding Chapel because evidently it didn't take the first time. So he came back with someone else and did it again. And this is the playground of, what's his name? Rhett Butler. Quite frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Yeah.
Big ears.
Yeah.
Damn it.
He used to come down here and dove hunt. And this was his hangout. And Hollywood was only a train ride away, 3 or 4 hour train ride. And they'd come down here on the train. John Wayne used to film movies around here. And he'd come down on the train and he'd bring his horse. He stayed in the Hotel San Carlos. One of the stories about him is he got really drunk on the main drag one night with his horse with him, taking it into the bars with him. And at the end of the night, he took it back to the hotel, walked it up all the flights of stairs, and left it on the roof overnight.
Poor horse, man. Well, back then it was probably not that big a deal, though, to have a horse.
No, I don't think it was,
Yeah.
Pilgrim.
Yep, I just knew that was coming. So 12 years.
Yeah.
We worked really hard on getting this evidence.
Yeah.
And boy, is there a lot of it. Oh my goodness. And it's all real. That's, you have programs that like to embellish a little bit. This is the real deal. This is the real McCoy. The evidence is real. And I've had skeptics go into the theater with me and sit down. And I took in particular a man and his wife in there along with a few other people, and we were sitting down there. And he was sitting a good 7 or 8 feet away from me, in front of me, kind of in a semicircle situation. And I was, of course, leading the group. And all of a sudden, he jumps up out of his chair, knocks his chair over, and looks over at his wife, who wasn't even within arm's reach of him. He looks straight at her, and he says 3 times. He goes, "Did you just touch me? Did you just touch my back?" And she goes, "No." And I go, "Well, what happened?" He goes, "Something ran its finger about 9 or 10 inches down my back. Something touched me." And I quit taking cameras and everything. I just snickered because I knew that they just converted another person that was a non-believer into somebody that believes that it's possible. The rest of the night, he put his chair directly in front of his wife and made her put her hands on his shoulders.
Wow.
That's one thing. That's one thing about our group is that we've produced. I wouldn't say a lot of evidence, but what we have produced is real. We've always taken pride.
Good
in
quality.
We've never.
Well, I was gonna say, what did you think the very first day we showed up? What was your first thoughts when you saw us? Don't sugarcoat it. Oh.
But I won't
Seems
go
to me
there.
you're just plain scared.
Well, we're not talking about the pre stuff, but
I thought that you guys were a lot more serious than the norm, honestly, because I've actually, to be honest, I found your whole group a little aloof.
Shut up.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
that is.
You asked me a question. I'm going to give you an answer. So that's where I was at. But you know what? You guys proved yourself. You've come back. We've stayed in touch, not all the time, but on Facebook we stay in touch. And this has been an ongoing project, and it's finally coming to fruition. It might be a little bit of time before it's finally edited and ready for the.
Well, a lot of things happened, during the time. I mean, we couldn't get back here,
Yeah, families.
Yeah, well,
family commitments,
and also pandemic.
Yeah,
that really put a dent in everything, shut everything down. So that was a big, huge delay for us, and it was kind of hard getting back into it.
Well, it was that way for every person in America, and that's a shame that ever happened. But
well, and another thing is that people don't realize how much work these things take. I mean, over the course of 12 years and driving in California is not a long way, 4-hour drive. But when you've got lives and families and jobs and, everything is self-supported and.
Well, we're not getting paid to do it. So it's kind of like everybody has their jobs,
I think,
and it's
Sam,
kind of
Yeah. Sam, when you told your wife you were coming here, she thought you were coming to gamble, right?
Yeah, she thought I was going on vacation. But the amount of work that these things take, I mean, it's a lot of work just to investigate the correct way. Luckily, we've been fortunate to have, Shawn that makes a lot of our equipment, having the access to equipment, and on this trip, have a Michael with us to help Shawn with the production of it.
Well,
so
one thing I noticed about Shawn is you're quick to debunk, Shawn. If there's something that you can find a logical explanation for, you're on it, and you're not on it tomorrow. You're on it yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, that's always been an important part of our group.
Yeah, Shawn is really good at it when he does.
Thanks, Grim.
No, it was just to finish the thought from earlier is that our group is always, we've been the group that puts our stuff out there. It isn't in large quantity, but what you get is real. And even from the TV stuff that we've done in the past, they've hinted that they've wanted stuff produced, and I said, you get what you get, and if you don't like it, then find another group.
Yeah, we stuck by our guns.
But it's always been for the positive. I mean,
but I didn't mean to toot our own horn. But you know what I mean. I just wanted to know what he thought of us when he first.
Do we have the Real McCoy's theme button we can hit right now?
Real McCoy?
You know, I recorded something in a basement right next door to the Lyric Theater. But anyway, I was down there and I was with the owner of the building and this was the first walkthrough. And I'm in the basement, 18,000 square foot basement. Mm-hmm. Absolutely huge.
Can you say what?
They used to produce and build horse buggies in the basement.
No, what is the place now? Can you say that?
Yeah, it's the new construction that you're seeing. There's a huge,
okay.
there's a huge
place.
county building going in.
Okay.
So that building is now gone. But I asked simply, I go, is there anything? And he goes, what? And I go, I'm talking to see if there's any spirits down here. And I'm going, if there's anything down here, could you please tell me how many of you there are and maybe your names? And then a very demonic voice comes on and goes, That's my impression. Once you listen to it, draw your own conclusions of what you think that was.
All right, let's play it. Here we go.
Oh, okay. My impression was whatever that was. That was my impression of that, and that's you may draw other conclusions when you listen to it because it seems that
we did listen to it.
Everybody has a different. Well, when you listen to it again, everybody has a different perception of an EVP. I've listened to some EVPs that people posted when this first became a sport.
Yeah.
If you will. And they say, well, the spirit said this, listen. And it's something completely different. And to me, it's clear what the spirit said or whatever it is said. But they think it said something else. And I'm like, yeah, it's just.
Well, my approach has always been, if you have to really pull at it, if you can't hear it right away, and you really have to really dig deep into it, and you go too far, then it's not worth it.
It gets
now you're just creating your own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
You're creating you know what I mean?
Well, we'll go with one more here. I was let's see. Let me reconstruct this in my brain before I spit it out of my mouth.
Well, while you're doing that, Sam, what did you say about it?
I just know that if you have an EVP and you start to filter and you start to pull and stretch and filter and stretch and pull, you can make anything sound whatever you want it to say.
Yeah, exactly.
And once again,
not saying that wasn't a good one. I mean, everybody has their own approach.
But
go ahead and what was it?
Okay, this was during the Paracon. And what I didn't know is that somebody took a Ouija board into the Lyric. And I know everybody just cringed when I said that. Well, I did too when I found out. And come to find out that somebody in their group took it and snapped it in half. And I went, well, thank you very much for snapping that Ouija board in half. And right after I said that, to me, it sounds like there's something demonic that groans like, oh, you didn't really just do that. It's like, oh.
Like
you didn't just break that off. That was our way to get in.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's play that clip.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got it. And the funny thing is I had that clip for probably a decade before I actually caught that. I was listening to it again. I went, my gosh.
I'm going to reserve myself for that one. I'm going to listen to it a little more before I make a decision.
Please do.
I mean, it's not really a decision. What I will tell you what I think about it. But I need to hear it a little more. I'm not going to go digging. You know what I mean?
That's like what you guys thought was a rabbit that I caught on film. I think it's something else. I don't think it's a rabbit at all.
North Orange County was started 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And we always told ourselves that we're going to investigate and present ourselves in a certain way, which we have pretty good. And the people that we surround ourselves with, we respect their opinions, we respect their evidence, we respect the way that they go about their investigation. We're not here to tell anybody how to do it or why to do it or when to do it.
Yeah.
And there's terms that are thrown around that myself, Sam, does not choose to describe.
Yeah.
And that word is demonic. You know, I think as humans, we're all taught to have our own definition of what that is. Not saying that's right or wrong. Don't get me wrong. You know, it is what it is. And
well, we all get into this because we don't know.
Yeah,
we're curious. True. We want to find what's the reality behind this, what's really doing it, why are they doing it, and the reasons. And I hold a personal belief, and you guys may not share this with me, but I think
absolutely.
I think you can find a lot of the answers in the Bible.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You know, different
like
verses. Yeah.
You're listening to Paranormal Live on Grimcast. Welcome back to Paranormal Live Special Edition in Yuma, Arizona.
Wow, this is a really sensitive topic here.
No, it isn't sensitive. I want to make it clear that I know personally that we all come from a different point of view. There's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, in a lot of cases, it's welcomed because it makes me think about things a different way. But in turn, it makes the other people the same way as well.
Yeah, how many different religions are there on the planet? 1,600 or something.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous number. Anyway,
but you know they all come down to the same end result. There's a higher source. That's all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So that's what I believe in. I believe that there's a higher source, and it could be each higher source is different to each of you guys. You know what I mean? Everybody has a different higher source.
Yeah, I believe in a higher power. What the higher power is, that's what we're still trying to figure out.
Yeah. Some of the things that I think one of the things I think you shouldn't do that an investigator here in Yuma, I've seen him do it numerous times, and I always cringe when he does it, is during an investigation, he'll call out to the spirits or whatever is out there. Yeah, if you can't use the ITC, just come to me and take what you need from me. And he would say that and mean it. And
well, then he's given them permission.
Yeah, he is. He's
to-
inviting in
to
who
interact.
knows what. Yeah. Well, he's actually.
It's kind of like what you do when you go in there and you're going to record. You ask a question and you want to get an answer. You're giving them permission to interact. So
Well,
it's kind of the same thing, but everyone does something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I disagree with that particular premise.
And I do too. I mean, you're opening yourself up, but I don't know about opening yourself up to take energy from you to do something.
Yeah,
it's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah,
we did an investigation in San Pedro at the Warner Grand Theater.
Yeah.
And we were there to help a film student produce a film. You remember this investigation? And at one point, they wanted to host a Ouija board session.
Yeah.
And they asked the group, they asked Knops if we wanted to participate. And I said, I don't know if I do or if I do not believe in it.
Yeah. I sat out.
Yeah. But why tempt fate?
Yeah.
And that was my whole approach to the whole
But we
thing.
had some weird stuff happen around us while
Absolutely.
they were doing that.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that was maybe we got better interaction than they did.
Was it because of the Ouija board, or was it because just spirits are there? I mean, who knows?
It could be.
Who knows?
It's how how you're opening yourself up for the interaction.
Yeah, I've got a recording somewhere in the hours and hours that I've got where sounds like there's a group of people in a small room, and they're all whispering the same thing, going, "Let us in, let us in, let us in," and right in the middle of that, and that was across the ITC going, and right there was a real EVP that overrode that. You could clearly tell it was from a different source, and it said one thing: the Lord's Prayer, and I'm like, whoa. That was it saving me from myself, or was it trying to put them in their place? I don't know, but that happened.
Yeah. Well, in this whole paranormal thing, we all have our own journey.
That's what I mean. I mean, it depends on your I would say the way you think, and it determines kind of what you're going to get with your investigation or how you're perceiving it. So I might perceive it differently if I heard it by myself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It depends on if you're. I'm not saying you're religious, but like if you were very religious and that was like the top of your list, and then you go into some place and you hear something, and right away you're thinking, well, this is the way my thought process is. The religious aspect of it. So you're going to relate everything that happens as per that, that thought.
You go in preconditioned.
You know what I mean?
Children live what they learn.
Yeah. So if you go in with, say, an open mind and you're not thinking really religious, you're going to get a whole different perception of what it is. Yeah. You're going to take it differently. Everybody's going to take it differently. It's the same thing like Sam was saying. Every group out there, I don't know why I'm going there, but is like has their holy grail of catches, but it's like we have ours, and what we think of that EVP or that Class A EVP, it's special to us, and that's all we worry about.
Yep.
We don't worry about anybody else, what they think of it, and we don't condemn anybody else's catches.
The fact that we've documented so much evidence and so many things that just don't make sense. You can't logically explain it away. That in and of itself, I think, is proof that there is something higher out there, and there's a lot of people that just don't believe. And by the way, I'll teach you all a phrase right now, if you're listening, and it is a paranormal brick. Now, that's not an insult.
No,
that's someone who has never experienced the paranormal, kind of chuckles at you when you mention it, and that they probably will never see anything paranormal. There's others that can't get it away from them.
Yeah. Well, there's also the other part of that where they're a paranormal brick. Is they're closed-minded, so when they go into a location, nothing ever happens. And if that paranormal brick is with you, guess what? You're not going to get anything. You're not going to find anything.
No, I believe that with the culmination of multiple people at an investigation, that culmination of their energies will dictate how your investigation is going to go. Yeah.
If any of you know a skeptic, take them to see the film. When it comes out, take them to see it and draw your own conclusions. It may change some of you, and some of you may go, they staged them.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's people that are going to say that regardless of what you do.
Yeah. I know we're all over the place.
Yeah, hey, it's okay. Is there going to be a red carpet when we go?
I don't know. It might be a green carpet. I don't know. Probably won't be red.
I know for myself and the group, the North Orange County Paranormal Society has a ritual that we like to do, and it's a personal thing. We spent the last 3 days here in Yuma opening ourselves up to the paranormal, and we like to close sessions. We're here to interact with them, but we have families at home. We have friends that we just don't want to affect. So, for myself, I would like to close this whole journey from this weekend. Is you're not welcome to follow me. When I come back, if you choose to interact, then that's fine. But this is my closure for the weekend.
I've got
the same
one
way.
I've heard.
What happens in Yuma, it stays in Yuma.
Yeah, well, I've heard Native Americans use this phrase, and I like to use it too. It's in the sight of God, in the light of God, and in the name of God, stay where you're at and do not follow me home. You're not welcome.
See, everybody's got their...
Yep, that one's mine.
Yeah.
Shawn?
I agree. I'm going to say no one is allowed to follow me or the crew home, and that includes you guys.
That the power of Christ compels you!
I mean, this has been one hell of a journey.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's kind of sad to see it end, but
I don't think it's going to end. I think this is just the beginning.
Well, let's hope nature doesn't take the theater and restaurant away so quickly.
Well, the way the wind was blowing today,
and then that sudden rain.
Yeah, and the sudden rain. I don't know. You probably should go check and see if it's still there. I'm sure.
I called my wife on the other side of town, and it's dry over there. Yeah. So it only hit down here.
Yeah, it's a sign saying. But yeah, we got one more day, and we're out of here.
Yeah. Well,
gentlemen, it's been a real roller coaster ride and a lot of fun, and I look forward to what may come when we get everything edited and put together into something that makes viewable sense.
And I have to thank you for getting this in.
Well, that was interesting the way that happened.
Yeah, but it was good. Got in. We did what we had to do, and we're very respectful how we did it.
Indeed, you are.
Yeah, we always put it back the way it was.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Take pictures, leave footprints.
Nice.
Thank you for listening to Paranormal Live, this special edition from Yuma, Arizona. See you next time.
Here's Johnny.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
It's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
No! God, please, no! No!
They're here.
I'm not afraid of your ghosts.